Hey, most boys don't go off the rails because they're like bad, right? It's just no one showed them how to be a man. There was no masculine energy there. Yeah, it's like myself, right? When I was growing up, I didn't need more discipline. I just needed like a man to respect, to look up to, right? I didn't grow up with a father around, God bless my mom. She did all she could, but she was a woman, so she only could do things from that perspective. I didn't have no consistent masculine presence, right? And when a boy goes from that phase of boyhood to manhood, right? That's when things can easily slide in the wrong direction. Just out here in the woods, you can probably hear that. There's like a tractor knocking down trees. So when I was growing up, maybe like 13, 14, I learned what I thought I was learning to what it was to be a man from other boys who were fatherless, right? Who also or who had, not a good, strong masculine presence, right? So I thought, we get kind of taught this misguided perception of what it means to be a man. Like strength is aggression, right? That confidence is like arrogance, right? And the problem was no one was there to tell me and these other young men that is that path ends badly. A lot of my friends, well, some of them ain't even alive, and some of them went down some really bad paths, right? Maybe I'll go into that. And this is one of the things that like people don't talk about, right? Like masculine energy isn't about control or like dominance. It's about like direction and having standards as a man, right? I didn't get taught any of this. I had to kind of figure this out. I mean, what young men need, and this is what I wish I had. Well, in a way I did have it, but it was like from people like on the TV, like Jackie Chan. I used to love Jackie Chan. We need like mirrors, like a reflection, or not just like do this, do that, but like something to observe and say, wow, look how this man carries himself. Look at his life. Look how people treat him. Look how he treats others. Look how, someone to aspire to be like, but that you are constantly around and you see it on a regular basis because you become like the people you're around, obviously. And the biggest thing that's going to control, one of the biggest things that's going to control how your life turns out is your environment. That's a huge factor, right? So like people on TV, looking up to those, that's not always enough, right? You need like when you're around it, you kind of learn by osmosis. You pick up on the energy of that human being, that vibration that they carry. And I remember a few times we came across a few men like this. Like we was out roaming the streets and there was this guy and he was like, what are you guys doing out here? Look, no, you shouldn't be out here. Look. And he gave us some money and he was like, look, mate, wait, stay off the streets. Like you don't want to be walking around here. And I just remember that like energy that he had, like a strong father energy. I had another friend who, God bless him, he was one of my only friends actually that had a dad around. And his dad was super cool, man. I used to think his dad was cool. Like he played an instrument, he worked on cars, he could do pull-ups and stuff. Unfortunately, my friend grew up in, the environment that he placed himself in was with the wrong people. So I would hang around with these older lot when I was like 13, 14, maybe 15, 16 as well. But they were like 18, 19, and we used to smoke weed and stuff. And then one day they brought out some, so I think it was crack. They used to call it ting. It was crack, and they started smoking, and they was like, nah, you don't do this. But then my friend was like, no, let me just have like a little hit, right? And that was like one of the turning points for that guy, unfortunately. I think he's doing all right now. Like, I mean, he's like recovering, but that's just an example of like the choices that we make, right? It's wild. Yeah, like that masculine presence isn't like chaotic, man. It's just calmness. They got a calm, collective way about them. If you grew up with, if you didn't get any of this like me, doesn't mean like you can't, you're broken or anything. It just means that it might be a bit delayed, right? I'm in my 40s. It took me probably up to like this age to start figuring some of this stuff out. One of the things I wish I learned was the practice of being like disciplined and sticking with something. Let me tell you a quick story. When I was younger, like 13, 14, in the 90s this was, I was really good at skating, aggressive inline skating, like doing tricks and grinds. If you ever watched extreme sports, all that kind of stuff, ramps and stuff. And, we used to do it every day. Like, I had this passion for it. You could just do it for hours. We'd wake up on a Saturday, go check my friend, and we'd go out and just do it all day long. And we started getting really good. And I used to get, I loved that buzz from it, that adrenaline that it gave me. And I used to like taking risks, right? So I'd do the craziest shit. Anyway, right around this time was when one of my other friends started getting into, he was in it with us, but he started getting into like graffiti. And along in that graffiti world came drugs, alcohol, like not hard drugs, but like marijuana, ganja, right? And I started dabbling in that. And then that whole world of skating, I just put it to the side. And this was the time when I really feel if I made the right choice, I could have had a totally different life. Not that I'm, regretful. I don't like my life. But, that was something that I had a lot of passion for. But I went down the graffiti road, got in so much trouble, drugs. Man, I could go on. I don't know how much I could share on this. But essentially, I got in a lot of trouble with the police, stopped doing skating, and then that whole lifestyle, that whole active lifestyle, which I really loved, just got thrown to the wayside, and I just kind of went down a bad path for quite a few years, actually. But that was a prime example of if I had not like, oh man, if I had a dad, it would have been different, but like a strong masculine role model to say, look, man, you stick with this, right? You're good at this. Let's focus. Like, this is why I feel like fathers, good mentors, a good coach is so important. Don't get me wrong, women can do this, but for young men, they can't do everything, man. And we can't always relate to the woman, right? Or your mum, right? Like, do you know what I mean? It's just different. God bless women, right? Like, every single human being came from a woman, but there's just some things that they, that they can't do, and there's some things that men can't do as good, right? It's not right or wrong. It's yin or yang, baby. As above, so below. It's masculine and feminine energy. If this resonates with you, like, drop a comment below. Like, what do you wish you was taught by your father that you know now, or that you maybe learned along the way, but you wish you had taught? Be good to know. Anyway, peace.